everybody, it's Amber from Sweet Am's Cookies. In this tutorial, I'll show you how I made these Valentine's Day cookies and 3 different ways to transfer a template onto a cookie. Start out by flooding a heart-shaped cookie with red flood consistency royal icing and a decorating tip 3. My icing is 15 to 20 second count, and if you want to learn more about icing consistency, you can take my online class, Royal Icing 101. And now I'm using my Scribe tool to help shape the icing. This icing needs to dry overnight. So now I'll show you the different ways that I use to transfer this template onto the cookie. This is just a regular piece of tissue paper like you would use in a gift bag, and I'm going over it with an edible ink marker. Now I'll place the tissue paper on top of the iced cookie. And I'm going over it again with the edible ink marker. The idea is to press hard enough so that the ink bleeds through the paper onto the cookie. You'll see when I lift up the paper that the ink didn't bleed through this time, but the moisture from the marker bled through the paper, so it still works for this technique. Now we have a guide that we can use for piping our filigree design. This next method takes a lot longer, but if you don't have an edible ink marker and you don't have a projector or a stencil cutting machine, you can always use this technique. I printed the template and I'm just using the Scribe tool to poke holes through the design onto the cookie. This next method involves some equipment. I used my stencil cutting machine to create my stencil, and now I'm airbrushing it with yellow food coloring. And I'm using yellow because I just want it to be a really light guide that I can use for piping. I don't have a lot of experience with an airbrush, so you'll see that I got a lot of underspray, but it works for what I need. So any of these methods you choose, you can then go over it with your medium consistency royal icing, and I'm using a decorating tip 2. Again, if you want to learn more about icing consistency, you can take my online class, Royal Icing 101. I'm switching to a tip 1 for the smaller details. These really tiny dots aren't on the template, but I just wanted to fill in the space with some more decorations. I switched back to a decorating tip 2 to do the bead border. And these are the finished cookies. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions about this project or any of my cookie decorating tutorials, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye!